attachment styles can change.
Oh, completely.
And the way that they change is it accurate to say someone gives you evidence that counteracts your
That's
existing?
one of the ways, and in one sense, that's the easiest way. Because in a way, I didn't know it was happening. This happened long before I studied attachment styles. I think I was still chasing monkeys at this point. But so that's the easiest way, is literally you end up with someone who's secure, and over time they just get into your brain and they show you are wrong. Other ways are being conscious about what your attachment style is and being conscious about how it doesn't work for you. There is no wrong attachment style. That's what I want to say. If you feel comfortable in your attachment style, brilliant. That's great. It's when it doesn't work for you that there's a problem. And so I always think everyone should kind of keep an eye on what their attachment style is. I think it's quite an important thing to realize. If you see yourself, for example, repeating the same things over and over again in relationships, so it gets to a certain point and you leg it. For example, it's all getting a bit intense, I'm now going to run away. Or you always end up pushing people away, for example, maybe because you're too preoccupied or whatever. And it's good if you see that pattern, if you are conscious enough to recognize that pattern, then you can do work on yourself. Or you can ask your friends to help you. Okay, if you see me do this, you need to flag it. You need to tell me you're doing it again. You need to step beyond that. And it will need support. You'll need emotional support, either just from friends and family, or you might need professional help. There are attachment counselors who will help you understand where your attachment style came from, and they will help you do the work.
Okay.
To shift. So you can do it that way. And then obviously at the very extreme end, there's attachment disorders, and they always need input from a professional.
One of the things that I found to be particularly useful is vocalizing my attachment style to my partner and her doing the same back, so that we can both kind of understand the other person. Yeah. Even though it might not be us and we don't understand that clingy behavior or that avoidant behavior, vocalizing it in the way that you said, not just becoming self-aware, but like mutually aware, has really helped us, because I can now understand her behavior. She's much more on the, I don't want to say clingy, but she needs that sort of reassurance and of my presence. And now behavior that I might have thought in the past was a bit irrational, I now understand more contextually. Yeah. And therefore I'm able to be more empathetic and more.
Yeah. And that's really important. It's really important to do that, because, we all attach in different ways. And by understanding that, it helps you, as you say, if someone's really clingy, it can feel quite claustrophobic. But if you understand, actually, that's
especially
from
if you're
someone,
avoidant.
It's
like triggering.
Well, it's really triggering, and that's what we know. We know there are certain attachment styles that work better together than others. So we know, particularly a dismissing avoidant person with a preoccupied person. That's really tricky to keep going. That is a long-term relationship, which is, if it can carry on, is going to be very hard work and probably quite roller coastery, I would say. Whereas, if any of the insecure, so I'm doing this because it's a grid, any of the insecure attachment styles, if you can find yourself someone secure, brilliant. Secure people are amazing because they will absorb all that stuff. Because they're so secure in themselves, whether you're clingy, whether you're pushing them away, they absorb it and they're good at it. Preoccupied and fearful avoidant, that works quite well in one sense, because the preoccupied person wants to stick with the fearful avoidant person. And the thing that's really, really troubling the fearful avoidant person is you're going to leave. So if you literally sit on top of them, which is what you're doing if you're preoccupied, then that's great in one sense, because they will think, oh, okay, they're literally not going anywhere because they're there all the time. So there are partnerships that work better. And I agree with you. I think it's good to be aware of what within a partnership is, because then you can understand some of the quirks in behavior. You can understand some of your reactions to that behavior.